the 2K Sports pregame show.
Good evening, everybody. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Great to have you with us on 2K Sports.
Welcome, everyone, to Indianapolis, Indiana. It's the home of the Pacers. And before we get going, let's hear from David Aldridge on the sideline. David? Thanks, David. It's great to have a mix of those things. Adapt or die, as they say. And bucking the fast-paced trend, both teams tonight like to score out of their half-court sets. Doris, what are some of the keys to being successful with that approach?
Well, there's a few things, Kev. You've got to have great floor spacing. The ball has got to move, and players have got to move. It's got to be an equal opportunity offense.
And a look at the starters for San Antonio. Aldridge is at the 4 with Gasol at the 5. Parker and Green are the guard set. And it's Leonard in at the 3 slot. Stolen by Green. Leonard with the ball. Now guarded by Bogdanovic. Gasol kicks to Green. Spurs working the ball around now. Stolen by Collison. Over Parker. And the basket by Collison.
First points of the night, and here we go.
Well, great start to this one, setting the tone right away with that bucket.
And the replay is courtesy of Under Armour. Unleash chaos. It was a great sequence from the steal all the way to the finish at the other end. Outside, Bogdanovic. Back to Collison. Step back shot. Nice spin off the left rim and in. Collison's got his second bucket.
Crafty move. He recognizes the size disadvantage, and the mid-range is close enough.
I'll tell you, that's really clever because it's not easy to get that mid-range off over a guy who's got a size advantage. He made it look easy.
On defense, San Antonio. They come into this one having outplayed the Magic last game.
I mean, they were so impressive offensively, and when you do that, that can really help you on the road.
I think intensity is the key, right, Greg? When you play with energy on the offensive end, good things usually happen.
And Indiana opting to trade Paul George this summer. Doris, never easy to let a superstar go.
No, it isn't, Kevin, but with Paul George looking to contend for a title and increasingly voicing his dissatisfaction, it was probably the right choice because you don't want to lose him next summer and get nothing in return.
And the call will be against Tony Parker. That's his first foul. Knocked loose.
Oh, that was slick right there. Great timing to come up with that.
It's good.
Well, when Parker uses that burst of speed on the drive, he's nearly impossible to get in front of.
Oladipo against Green. Oladipo dishes to Turner. Outside, Bogdanovic. And the foul called on Kawhi Leonard. That's his first foul. If you're just tuning in, we've played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. Parker against Collison. 6 on the shot clock. Shot off the screen.
And throughout his career, Gasol has continued to build upon his reputation as a lockdown defender. He gives his all on that end of the floor.
The Spurs shooting their first free throws of the game.
And when you look at their numbers from a season ago, 80% as a unit, that's something you'll be happy with.
Manu Ginobili's checked in for Danny Green. So he gets them both.
And Parker has such speed and creativity, just causes the defense fits in terms of how to properly guard it.
Right side, Bogdanovic. Here's Turner, and the rejection by Leonard. And so it looks like the Pacers will retain possession here. So Indiana ends up with a new group on the floor. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Laverne, he's checked in for Gasol. Kyle Anderson comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Rudy Gay's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. Dennis Mills in for Tony Parker.
Boy, Miles Turner out of the University of Texas, hook 'em horns, the number 11 pick back in 2015. He now looks like a foundational piece for the Pacers.
Stevenson against Gay. Stevenson kicks to Sabonis. Young left side. Pass to Sabonis. The three. Mills with the rebound. Of course, you look back on that 2015 draft, hard to argue that Turner shouldn't have gone higher.
Yeah, I think it was the unusual running style. There were some concerns that it might predispose him to injury. The Pacers training staff actually found a muscular imbalance, so they helped him strengthen certain areas and correct that issue.
And here's Mills for three. Good defensive work there by Young. Indiana trailing here. And Stevenson kicks to Robinson. To the middle. Here's Ginobili. And it's slammed in by Ginobili.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
Fantastic anticipation. Then he shows major explosiveness converting at the other end.
There's 53 seconds left in the first quarter. A floater. Back to Young. On the wing, Stevenson. Young outside. Pass to Sabonis. Inside. Here's Robinson. He can't get that one. Good work defensively by Ginobili. Here's Mills. Here's Laverne. Jefferson with some nice D.
Man, look at how well the defense does to cut his path to the basket. Comes up empty on what might have been an easy play.
Shots good from Young. Here's Mills. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Gay passes to Laverne. Kicks to Mills. And he drops in the layup off the glass.
Absolutely fearless. I mean, a nice subtle adjustment there going up against Wimp.
And to me, that's all about the body control, right, Greg? I mean, he does such a stellar job sizing up his man and drains it despite having the size on him.
At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. It's San Antonio up by 2. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter. And we got a close game. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. On the court for Indiana, they've got Young, Al Jefferson out there with Sabonis. Then it's Robinson, and it's Stevenson in at the 3. Gay can't get it to go.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
No, exactly, Greg. Especially when the ball is that deep inside. You've got to respect how he altered that shot.
Yeah, that's 2 bombs in a row from long range.
Mills dishes to Murray. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. And there's the pass to Laverne. Robinson pulls it in. Indiana's gone 3 of 5 from beyond the arc so far tonight. And that's a foul called on Davis Bertans. That is his first foul of the game. So it's both teams making substitutions here. Outside Collison. And that's a foul called on Davis Bertans. That's foul number 2 for him. And Doris, so many great point guards in the league. In fact, a number of stars at that position. We see them every night, but who are some of the floor generals that maybe don't get the headlines? More of the underrated portion.
I think the single most consistently underrated point guard, though certainly not by the contract extension he most recently signed, would be Mike Conley. This guy for the Memphis Grizzlies. Some guys just fit in the systems and the cities and the organizations for whom they play, and I would say Mike Conley, ability to run the team, ability to make the three-point shot, to make the players around him better. He comes to mind. Kemba Walker in Charlotte is a guy who, once they consistently start to make the playoffs as an undersized point guard, I think you could see him start to grow in reputation. And Isaiah Thomas, who launched himself for stretches into the MVP conversation. Interestingly, Kevin, what do all three have in common? A little bit undersized in today's NBA.
And can you believe Conley has never been an all-star as good as he is?
Cannot believe that. No, and you've had his teammates make it, Marc Gasol most notably. I know that Marc Gasol would love to see Mike Conley next to him in an all-star uniform.
Up again, controls the rebound and puts it back up and in. Leonard's got the lead up to 3 now for San Antonio.
And folks, he did not luck into that one. He knew just where he wanted to be to grab that backboard.
And Oladipo kicks to Collison. And the call will be against Tony Parker. That's his 3rd foul of the game.
And now only 1 away from being in the penalty.
And the Spurs with some changes. Saul comes in for Davis Bertans, and it's Green in for Murray.
And that's his 4th foul, and we're not even at halftime. That is going to limit his playing time and his aggressiveness the rest of the game.
Well, Darren Collison going through the free agency process this last summer. Greg, Indiana jumped at the chance to add him to the roster.
Yeah, and with Collison and his ability to play in so many ways, that is what made teams go after him. He doesn't always take a big signing to change the complexity of a team. Getting solid contributors like Collison go a long way in building the foundation of a team. And Gasol excels from that mid-range area. If you leave him open from there, you're going to pay the price.
Collison with a screen on Aldridge. Here's Young, and the shot no good, a bit short.
Well, I wouldn't say the D was exceptional, but it certainly was enough to bother him.
Oh, he just punches that one down with a fury.
And he rubs it in a little deeper with the hanging finish. For San Antonio, they've had 2 chances at the line already, making them both. Kyle Anderson, he's checked in for the Spurs. Free throw good from Leonard.
You know, when he was in high school in California, Kawhi won the state's Mr. Basketball Award. And you look at the list of guys who won that award over the years, it has a lot of the all-time greats on it.
And Oladipo kicks to Turner. Hits the target from 18 feet.
And because of his size, that's a difficult shot to contest.
Almost unguardable, you could say, Greg. Skilled at holding the ball so high, defenders can't get to it.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And a little under 3.5 minutes elapsed in the second quarter of play. 6 on the shot clock. The baseline J. Oladipo misses.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open. A chance now to see the numbers for Kawhi Leonard. Last season, he played outstanding. Averaged 25 points per game last season, 6 rebounds and 3 assists. And with his ability to put the ball in the bucket, he has to be your primary focus defensively.
I think defenses plan to stop him, but very few succeed, Greg. And that's why he's his team's leading scorer.
So Indiana ends up with a new group on the floor. Rudy Gay's checked in for the Spurs. Ginobili comes in for Danny Green. Robinson, that's good.
After a shaky start, boy, he's found the range. Good second quarter for him.
Anderson outside, and Mills kicks to Ginobili. Dishes it to Gasol. A second chance effort, and the layup is up and in. Gasol's got 6 points.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
Stevenson kicks to Jefferson. Young outside. Some nice passing here by Indiana. Stevenson passes to Young. Fires the 3. Here's Jefferson. That one doesn't go. Good D by Gasol. 7-second difference, shot and game clock. Anderson dishes to Gay. He kicks it to Gasol. Using his post move to get the 2 points. Gasol's got 6 in the quarter.
I'll tell you, what a start in the first quarter, and now he's taking it to a new level here in the second.
And And Young kicks to Sabonis. Dish now to Robinson. Pass to Jefferson. Over Gasol. And that's not going to go. And so it's San Antonio ahead by 9 as the quarter comes to a close. And they've done a phenomenal job down low. So many of their... All right, thank you, David. And folks, don't go away after the break. We'll see you right back here for the start of quarter number 3.
And now, the 2K Sports
Hello,
Halftime
folks. Welcome
Show.
back. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal. A pretty close game for the Spurs throughout the first quarter. At the end of the period, they held a 2-point lead. They really did some damage in the second quarter, and as things started clicking for them, they were able to get out to a 9-point lead by halftime. And that wraps up the halftime show. Third.
Now the second half about to start up and begin any moment. Spurs leading by 9. Here's who Greg Popovich is starting in the second half. The defensive tandem of Green and Leonard outside. Aldridge is at the 4 with Gasol at the 5. And it's Murray in at the point guard position.
And the defense can only do so much. Gasol knows he can get his shot up over anyone in this league.
And Bogdanovich kicks to Oladipo. Bogdanovich sets the pick for Oladipo. San Antonio with the rebound. It's off to Boston for him after this game as they take on the Celtics. And that will conclude a 4-game road trip. Aldridge inside, defended by Young.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
Yeah, they may have gotten the feeling he would dish it off, but he had a surprise for them.
And DeJounte Murray gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game. Spurs making a switch here. Parker's checked in. Collison. Rebound, San Antonio. Gasol's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. And Nate McMillan with a solid track record as head coach in Seattle and Portland before taking over the Indiana Pacers.
Well, think about it. Before this job, 12 seasons, all coaching in the Northwest. And that goes along with 12 seasons as a player, all with the Sonics. He actually earned the nickname Mr. Sonic for almost 2 decades in Seattle.
And the Spurs making a change here. Burns checked in. Murray's checked in for Parker.
Taking a look here at some numbers for Darren Collison. Some last season stats for him. Put up about 13 points per, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. And when he takes over at the point, he really keeps the offense flowing.
Well, this is a guy who brings a solid skill set. Excellent ball handler, high level of playmaking, the perfect backup point.
Young outside, feeds it to Bogdanovich. From outside, off the mark.
I don't like their energy level since the break, right? They've missed 3 of their first 4 shots.
And so the ball out of bounds. Collison touched it last. And a look now at the breakdown between 3-point and 2-point shots attempted here tonight for the Pacers.
They are shooting the lights out from beyond.